All right, I want you to take a nice deep breath in through your nose and down into your belly and out through your mouth. And blow it out. And then take a second one. Down into your belly and then blow it out. Then take a third, not so deep. And I want you to visualize going down your legs, crystalline roots of light. And those roots of light are going down your legs and out your feet and going down deep, deep into the earth. Going through those layers of the earth down towards that giant golden crystal that I see as the heart of Mother Gaia. And when you get to that crystal, you can connect with her and become one with her. You can wrap those roots around her, or you can just plant them next to her and they'll connect. They'll grow over to her. And now Mother Gaia is going to send up her beautiful shimmering golden light. It's going to come flowing up those crystalline roots of light, up through the layers of the earth, up in through the bottom of your feet, into your legs, up into your belly, up through your arms, into your chest, up and through your neck, and then in through your head, and then out your crown and send it up like a beam of light right out through the crown, right out, since you're outside, out into the sky, deep, far up, way up into the sky. Keep sending it up. Keep going up till you're going out into off planet. And now you're going out into the inky purple universe where all those beautiful stars are twinkling at you. And there's one particular star that's twinkling brightest at you. Send your beam of light to that star and become one with it. And now you're also connected to your star family, your star monad, your soul monad. And these are your beings of light who are here for you in your incarnations. And they're here to support you in all ways. And I always say to be clear and explicit for what you ask them for. When you give them, I guess we should have asked a little sooner, but when we ask for this, the continuation of this meeting to be easy, clear, connected, something like that, really clear, it always comes through and they know how to support you. If we don't ask them, if we just say we need help, it doesn't come through as clearly. And now we're also going to send up that beam of light to the central sun. And the central sun is our portal to the other galaxies. And it's also that beautiful portal that's transforming us from the carbon to the crystalline DNA. And now the central sun is going to send down its shimmering silvery light. And that's going to come flowing down towards the earth and back down towards where you are. And it's a cosmic flush. It's going to come in through the through the top of your head, very gently and lovingly. It's going to come flowing through you like the figure 8, just picking up any dense or heavy frequencies, anything you want to let go of, just let it flow into those waters. It'll pick it up as you let it go. And just let it flow into the waters. And now those waters will flow down your legs and then out your feet again and down those roots of light and down through the layers of the earth, back down towards that crystal. And surrounding it is a fiery ring of light. See all that old stuck energy just flow in and be burned up into light. And now I want you to put your hands on your heart and visualize that beautiful heart flame, that pilot light that is leading us. This is our source light, our love light, our self-love light, our God light. And since we are all one, we are God, we are sparks of God. And this energy is going to move forward into the front of our chests. And it's a liquid golden light that starts flowing out into your cells, this unconditional love, this nurturing love of source light. And it's just going to fill up all your cells with this unconditional love, flowing around, filling you up, and now overflowing around your body and surrounding you in this beautiful cocoon of golden light. And now we are also going to ask our guides, are you going to give an intention to the guides that are here for us tonight, to whatever you want to happen in this session? So Eric, what is your intention for this session tonight?
Well, I hope that you were recording all this because that was awesome.
Thank you.
I I feel that you resonate. You wanted to do a show with me because those are all the points you hit bullseye. I can't think of anything that you left out that I feel strongly. You know, as I sit here with my socks off and the feet in the dirt,
Beautiful.
and I'm here to put the love spin when we go through the transition,
Mhm.
and and I'm connected to the crystalline grid network with the right degrees, and it's just amazing. It's like you hit the bullseye, and I see why that now that why you were. Thank you for being inspired to connect with me and do a show, because I see now why you that was wonderful. It was really a wonderful. I'm those are all my strengths that you said, and it's good to get my own medicine and remind myself who I am.
Mhm.
And because we are all here, to we made a promise to be here through this transition, and the central sun is where we're going back to,
Mhm.
and we are caught in this upside down game that God is playing on us, giving us free will, and giving us the chance to make the correct choice.
Mm.
Because it's funny how I'm getting, you know, I get all these, being a public speaker, Eric the Healer, I get all these, I have 5,000 friends, and so sometimes I try to knock them off by talking about flat Earth and urine therapy, and to see who can get off, and then so I can add other people. I have a waiting list, and sometimes, and then the Instagram is connected to it, and I'm just adding everybody. Especially after shows, I notice a lot more people, and I'm just adding everybody, and I'm figuring that it doesn't matter. There's a lot of these people are like selling weed, or trying to sell. Have you watched their videos or something? I don't want to. I'm scared to hit any of those things, and screw up my phone or whatever, or I don't. And it's AI. There's an AI aspect,
Sure.
but it's good to be aware of all these connections and how we live, and it's important to think the right things and know what you want, because we don't realize we create the timelines,
Mm.
and there are an infinite amount of timelines, and everything we think happens, and we're now living at the powerful, time where we have to really be careful. Like if we say, I'm not connecting, it's not working, then it's not working. The Zoom won't work,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so I have to relax and remind myself to think good thoughts, and laugh that it will work, and hold that higher frequency vibration, because we really do transmute these negative energies, and it really does make a difference thinking positive, and vibrating a higher frequency and having a higher quality of life.
Mhm.
And so we have to choose correctly in this free will universe that God has given us a chance to, or creator or source or whatever we call it, because I had to figure that out early as a kid, having a Persian father, being born in America in California, and then growing up in Iran, and then having a Norwegian mother, and hearing Farsi and Norwegian spoken, and trying to decide, about Esau, because that's what they call Jesus, so the 12th Imam,
Mm.
and Muhammad, and all the prophets, and the Buddha, and then my mother is a Lutheran, and so I had to figure out everything early, and luckily I had perspective to see what is it's good to always work on our foundation, on the basics. I studied martial arts most of my
Mhm.
life, and I was an instructor. Um, and when you work on the basics, it really, when you have an excellent foundation to build upon, and you can't um, emphasize it enough, to know how to throw a correct punch, and that's how life is when you work on your basics of, the first religions were, I studied comparative religion at UCLA, and the first Zoroastrian religions were had three simple beliefs: good thinking, good talking, and good behavior.
Mm.
And so you have to think good thoughts, you have to speak, politely, and you have to think politely and think good thoughts. So good thinking, good talking, and good behavior. You have to show, actions speak louder than words. And I work for the Department of Public Health, where I'm a whistleblower, and I worked for the government before that in small business administration. And I'm kind of famous for giving Jesse Ventura the FEMA camp information about the coffin liners. And I couldn't figure out what those empty coffin liners were for. They were expecting a large number of people to die because they had, I don't know how many billion of these coffin liners. You put 10 dead bodies in them and they're stacked for miles. And I told Jesse about this, and he wanted me to go out and speak about it with it. I wanted to stay, lay low. And he went with Alex Jones 2 years later and talked about it in 95. But I worked for them and found, and he didn't talk about the civilian inmate handbook. So I knew that there was this plan. We had all these disaster areas, and they were laundering money, probably drug money, by doing these loans to businesses. And I knew there was something up in the government. And it's they actually killed my boss's son for her asking too many questions, and she told me to be careful. So that's why I gave that information out, just in case they knocked me off. I wanted this information out, So later I worked for the state. I was trying to get in with the state because they had better they were jerking me around for the government. They gave me like 90-day appointments and kept extending it so they wouldn't have to pay me medical, And so I got a job with the state and Medi-Cal, and then I went to the Food, Drug, and Radiation Safety, where I learned about radioactivity. And, Fukushima happened in 3/11/11, and I haven't eaten seafood forever. They're cutting off tumors in sushi places. And, luckily I've eaten a lifetime worth of fish just as a kid. My mom's Norwegian. Are you kidding me? They had beautiful salmon and shrimp and nice big shrimp that look like prawns, and great crab and lobster. And I don't know about lobster, but delicious crab, little crabs, tasty crabs. But I'm frozen.
All right, hold on a minute then. Good. We're going to take a moment now. So I'm going to just say hello to the audience so I can introduce you, because they still don't know who you are. Because I'm like, I would love to let them know who you are. So it's okay. I know you get excited. So I'm going to start. This will be the formal introduction. Oh, we lost your picture.
Okay, there we go. Good. I wanted it to just kick in.
Okay, so I'm going to say, here we go. Hello and welcome to season 4 of Own Your Divine Light show. This show is accelerate ascension during times of chaos and pandemic. And I am Aila Sirona Miller, the magical name of Janet, which I am just stepping into. So we've all been going through so much, and it's feeling like things are getting a little better, yet there's so much unknown on the horizon. And we are meant to create a new way of being. So today's guest has become a part of the New Humanity movement, consisting of a global group of awakened humanitarians, peace-loving humans who believe in a new earth with common goals for a totally different future outcome. Their movement is currently rewriting a new future in a positive direction for mankind by bringing forward new ideas and ways for living in harmony and peace with a universal code of ethics and standards. New Humanity Movement is a global one that has no borders and looks at humanity as one entity. Members discuss, share research, and implement new possibilities in science, technology, health, ET contact, space exploration, spiritual expansion, and transformation of consciousness, permaculture, and how to create a new path for humanity with global peace, freedom, free energy, free speech, moving away from the current banking system, so much more. So this movement is to assist our whole planet to shift into a higher state of consciousness and awareness. And we are welcoming you, Eric Dademeyer, Eric the Healer. And you also called another name, which I keep saying, how come he has so many names?
You know, it's funny, but just because Eric Dadmere, they told me, I work with a lot of paranormal psychic people, and some of them sometimes tell me, you know, you have to go 3 names because it's not good. It's different. It changes the energy.
Really?
And I have a middle name, and also I didn't, my initials, they were always joking me that my initials ED, you know, what is that? Erectile dysfunction. So
Ah,
um
I've never
so
thought of that one. I wouldn't know.
yeah, and I didn't either, you know, and I'm a comedian superhero, so I'm always laughing, and I thought it was funny, and I don't care, you know, I'm not insecure, and I certainly don't have that problem. I'm probably the reverse problem, but anyway, I'm just you know, I'm a comedian superhero because I need to be the clown. I was always a class clown, and it's a good way to get the information out, and they don't
Oh
kill
yeah,
me,
you're
you know, and
like
they don't,
the
and they can write
medieval.
me off. They, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
you're like in the medieval times, wasn't it? What was it? The
the court
Joker,
jester.
the
It's
court
funny you
jester.
say that. It's funny
Mm.
you say that, the court jester, because I think for over 10 years, you know, on your computer at the state, you're supposed to put your, you know, your title, and it, when you call people and send emails, it's attached, you know, to in it. So I had the court jester, and nobody
Ah,
touched it.
oh yeah.
Nobody said anything, and my bosses didn't look, or, you know, they just, they're such robots. So after about 10 years, and it was the big joke of everywhere, they finally they caught it, and because there was just people laughing or something, and they caught it, and they couldn't write me up, and I don't know. They told, because I said I am the court jester. You guys treat me as a clown. You don't promote me because I'm a whistleblower, and you know. But I went to UCLA, and you know, that's just one of my like 10 universities I went to, and I have so much education. I never stopped studying. I am still studying, and you know, they,
I
anyway,
know. That's
we're all
what
students.
yeah, that's what attracted me to you. When I heard you speak on a couple of 2 or 3 shows, I was like, who is this guy? I've got to get to know Eric the Healer. He's amazing. So what
What
is the
was
name?
that? What was that topic that that
Well,
caught
first
you,
I
that you
saw
remember?
you, I think I saw you on Michael Jaco's show, Unleashing Intuition. And then I saw you on the Super Soldiers with
Oh
is it
yeah,
David Ricard? Is
James
it
Ring.
James Rink? He is amazing with his information. And you were talking about Tartaria, which
My
I
favorite
had,
topic,
and I heard you
Tartaria.
speak about Tartaria in on the show with Michael, and I said, well, what is Tartaria? So I just
Yeah.
happened to be on that show
Oh
listening to
yeah.
James talk, and there you were as a guest, and the first thing he talked about was Tartaria, and I was blown away because he had all these pictures and all this data, and between you and him, the information was huge. And you know, I don't know if anyone's aware what Tartaria is, but you
It's
know,
right under our nose. We, you
right,
know, they
right,
hide it in plain sight. Right.
yes,
If you go to your state capitol and your state buildings, those are Tartarian buildings, and there's many castles. They call it Germantown, or they call it Greco-Roman style, or they're
mhm, mhm.
Catholic churches or whatever.
Always looked
But
different, didn't it?
yeah, but no way. There, it's antiquitech, antique technology built. There's a false narrative. See, there, we're going through a currency reset. They're trying to do a reset on us, and there's some natural things that happen to the earth every now and then, cycles, and they try to take advantage of these cycles and um, erase people's minds, and actually reduce the population. They say if you listen to Bill Gates on his TED Talks, he talks about using vaccinations to reduce the population, and that's why I put together the vaccination with these coffin liners of all the people who got vaccinated. But I know we're going to come up with a solution for this
Not to get
poison bioweapon that they created, because you have to know this bat lady, Dr. Shi Zheng Li, did write a paper in 2015, and they did do this on purpose. They were, you know, they lied, but they had bats in their bioweapon lab in Wuhan, where they also turned on 5G because it works in conjunction with the 5G, creating iron spike proteins, which become the antenna for the magnetization for the antenna for the G working, and they can really, you become a reprogrammable robot. And it's really scary thinking about it. My friend Cyrus Parsa, he's only my friend on Facebook, I think still, maybe. He did some excellent work with 5G, and he called the pandemic before it happened, and he wrote some great books and talks about artificial intelligence. Because growing up in Iran, they talked about the DJINN, which is the genies, the artificial intelligence that is trying. Yeah, and these are the spider-like archons, or the tall whites too, are related to these. And we have to be careful with our technology of sleeping with our phone, and leaving our modems on, and having too much, having a Fitbit phone or your pad, putting those pads on your lap, or a laptop actually on your lap, is not good. We have to start shielding and making leather or lead boxes to put them in, because they're really detrimental to our health. We're not this physical body, but spirit also. We have to look at the spirit body connections. And as a martial artist, they also are targets, to knock someone out or even kill them. That they don't teach that martial art to, everybody. Only spiritual people who are not going to go around killing people, so knowing these places, knowing how to cultivate life force energy. I met a wonderful martial artist, Dr. Montauk Chia, and he wrote Cultivating Female Sexual Energy and Male Energy, and how to do fighting using your life force energy and cultivating life force. And it's really important to think on many different levels. Everything we do, we have to really look at what we're doing, from when we wake up to how we sleep. And when when I go speaking at conferences, when I go into the hotel, the first thing I do is unplug the clock watch radio, because those are really notorious. And then I try to unplug the TV, and if there's a microwave, I especially do the microwave, because even though the microwave is off and plugged in, if you have a Gauss meter, you can see it spike. It goes in the red zone. So, and then of course worrying about all these things is cancerous too. So I try to laugh.
Well, I try to laugh
about it.
Listen, Eric, we've made it this far. We've gotten through a lot. And I remember listening to, what was her name? Barbara Marciniak, with one of her channelings. And she said that we fry with all the technology around us, but we've managed to get through it, because you wouldn't believe how polluted and, what's in our environment that we're so unaware of, but we've managed to get through it. And she wrote a book. Oh gosh, it was the first book I read when I was in healing school, and I can't think of the name now. Oh gosh, it just slipped my mind. Usually I can just pick it right out, but I can't think of it. Anyway, so I just want to start with you real quick, because I know we got into some pretty heavy stuff quickly, and
I'm sorry, I get off on these tangents.
You get excited. I understand. So,
surfer of the universe.
It's okay. Maybe people had to hear this. And, and I'm not, we're not here to scare anyone. It's just to, and
I don't want to scare anyone.
And people need to know that, well, there's med beds. If you don't know what a med bed is, start checking them out. Yes. The med beds are here to help us from all this crazy that's going on around us. I mean, no matter what, they say we win no matter what, that we just have to get through this time. This is what I keep hearing. And this is where I keep focusing, that we win. And that the light wins. So white pine needle tea. Yes, I have some.
Bee pining, turpentine, food grade turpentine, like only 3 drops, because that's how you clean your paintbrushes. But I think 3 drops in olive oil or coconut oil, like half a teaspoon. These are things, my suggestions that I would do for myself, if and I've done it because people who did get the vax are shedding spike proteins. They're iron spike proteins. And actually knives and cell phones are sticking to the place where they got the shot, but not all people, because a lot of people are having good immune systems and they're killing the spike proteins. So a lot of people, I have yet to see magnetization. I haven't seen it yet. And that's a promising thing. Yeah. So I'm confident. I don't like putting fear porn out there. I know that Dr. Luc Montagnier, whatever it was, they were on Wikipedia, WikiLeaks, they were lying somebody saying that, they had to burn these people, but that's just
say that one.
That's not true. It's not true. And I think it's because they want to get rid of the evidence.
Oh my goodness, no.
So because
leave that one off. But you know what I want to ask you is, how did
let's go.
occur? Like, how did it occur? How did you start? Like, I know you said your background was from a Persian dad and a Norwegian mom. So then you were open at the time. You really were open because you had
I was. What pissed me off and really the most was trying to explain to my parents when the moon landing happened in '69. I was 7 years old, being born in '62, and I was trying to tell my parents that it was a lie, what was happening, and their reaction to me really pissed me off, and it was really frustrating.
It was a lie? How did you know?
Because I went there. I traveled there with my spirit, and I go out. I'm connected to, I'm not from here. I'm a hybrid, and I come from somewhere else. Okay, wherever that is, I'm learning myself. Okay, but working with all these paranormal psychic people, they come up to me and tell me, you're not from here. And it's like, yes, I know I'm not from here. I can tell you that much. Okay. But I know I'm supposed to be here to help with our transition. And I was born 11:11 p.m. I'm a starseed. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm very Arcturian looking and Pleiadian looking. And I have a lot of lion in me and a lot of, feline and a lot of Sirius and, so
we all have some kind of
combination. We're a combination of many things.
Many.
But we're all here. I think we're all here to help with this transition because we're about to go through the Great Awakening. This is the time for people to be waking up and to all the information that's going to be snowballing out. And it has to happen because we have to do this all together. And we're going to become superconductors, I think, and leave this illusion matrix that we live in, because this is definitely a holodeck, like a matrix,
like a video,
not real. It's a video. It's a video game. What's real is our spirit, our soul. When we dream, that's real. When we astral project, that's real. We go to other dimensions. We go to other timelines, and we don't remember. We came here going through the amniotic fluids to have amnesia. And we to come here to have free will, we have to forget and reconnect. You know how you say when you love someone, you have to let them go and let them be free, but so they can come back to you. It's kind of like that, using love vibration, because we have to choose correctly. We're in the free will universe, and we have to choose correctly. What I was getting to about making all these friends on Instagram and stuff. I get a handful of requests to join the Illuminati always, and they want to pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars. They want to publish my book. They want to make movies. They'll make me a star. They'll pay me lots of money. But of course, you're choosing the devil. You're choosing incorrectly. I don't think that, and it's not about money. You can't take it with you, and the money's about to crash. I hope you. I've invested in silver. And I'd like to invest in XRP digital, currency, but they're about to change the money on us and do a reset, and we luckily have done. This pandemic was the largest crime ever committed on humanity, and to bring around this communist plot of deep state that I work for, and that's why I'm not promoted, because I caught them, and now it's so easy for me to see all these years it should be easy for people to see. I've been vindicated. My friends that told me, thought I was crazy all these years, have vindicated me and said, Eric, oh my God, you hit the bullseye. You knew this for 30 years. You knew this, and I called it. And I even, um, I'm working on a book about it. But anyway, I'm happy to say that even a larger sting operation was done, the largest sting operation ever. And they're realizing that they got tricked right now, and they're running scared. And because when this election fraud comes out, that they use this computer program, the hammer with this company, the Dominion company, they're going to see that they use the same program and the chip and that they could communicate, with foreign countries, and they could change it and change the numbers, because Trump won by a landslide. And if he hadn't won by a landslide, they might have gotten away with it. But he won by such a landslide that it was just overwhelmingly obvious. And they have all the information and programs and servers and all the people who called in and checked in. They have everything. So they've been working with NSA, and nobody has talked. And they have all these indictments, sealed indictments that they're about to release, and nobody has talked. And that, when you do a real investigation, that's how it works. It takes a long time, and people are thinking nothing's happening, but really a lot of these people are already taken out, and we're seeing a big show of clones.
And a lot of people are not even aware of any of what you're saying.
Yeah, they think I'm crazy. A lot of people still think I'm crazy.
This is a crazy conversation, but this is called.
It is. But
discernment.
I want them to just get ready by taking B-complex for stress, and lavender sachets and pillow, and essential oils that are lavender, and drinking maybe passion flower tea and chamomile tea, and Dr. Bach's Rescue Remedy is excellent too, in many different forms. So just in the learning, the people forget about, when you go back to the basics of breathing, people forget the pauses in between the inhalation and the exhalation. And that's where the magic occurs, because when you're breathing in, you have to breathe in bright white light, and then you pause and you visualize that light circulating, and you're pausing the same amount of time that it takes to inhale and exhale. So they're all equal amounts of time. And you pause in between your inhalation and your exhalations. And when you do that, you start to have food. You start to feed yourself plasma, because we're plasmic beings. And we get plasma from our food, and that's the fuel that we burn. We think it's the food for the energy, but really these breatharians, they're not just drinking their urine, they're breathing correctly, and they're doing the inhalation and pausing and exhalation. When you exhale, you're exhaling your toxins. You visualize black toxins coming out of you, and then you pause again. When I was married, I counted my ex-wife's breaths next to me. I think she breathed 4 times to my each breath, and I was like, wow, you're burning your candle on both ends, and it keeps you relaxed. I can react much faster being relaxed, doing martial arts or skiing the trees or doing something. You can throw a knife and spin it at me, and I slow it down and I catch it, just relaxed, and because that's the way it has to be. And we have to think in these hyper speeds, and it slows everything down. All we have to do is just relax, and it all comes to us, because we do have divine spirits protecting us, and divine beings that we've asked from previous lifetimes to watch over us, and they have messages for us. Also, we are visiting ourselves from other timelines. There are 2 Trumps in this timeline, and it had to be that way so they could report back of what was happening, because when he went back in time, he stayed there and lived his life. So he's the older Trump, which is the one that I met. Okay, I didn't meet the guy who was president, who's actually still president. So it was really something magical that happened to me that I didn't realize how magical it was till last year when I saw some pictures of him with a full head of hair. And I realized that it wasn't the same guy I met from 1985. I met the older one who traveled back in time to meet me and thank me for what I've been doing, because I have devoted my life to trying to get down to the bottom of this Illuminati bankster world cabal that has been screwing us up. The sprinklers just went on here. I
Don't worry.
have to make sure. Make sure I'm not in this. I don't think I'm in the sprinkler here. Let me see. let me make sure. Anyway, yes, I am. It's okay.
Are you getting cooled off? Is it warm there?
It's not too bad, but I have to move before it comes around again.
Okay.
It's okay.
So, audience, this has been.
Yeah, it is. It is warm here in Sacramento. It's over 100. We got the triple degree.
Yes. I have a relative there. I have a relative that lives there, and I have a relative visiting there right now. And they told me it's that hot. And we've got your face horizontal, frozen on the screen. Very interesting.
Okay. There, I had to move completely out of the arc.
You're frozen. You're frozen right now, so I can hear you. I can.
There we go. All I have to do is go. What I do is I go back and forth. You reboot, it kind of reboots it. So
gotcha.
But so sorry, I had to.
With all that's going on,
yes,
like moving into the higher consciousness, and I know you talk about the Mandela effect. I've heard.
Oh yeah,
about that. And
I'm a pioneer speaker about the Mandela effect.
I know you brought in some interesting points, and I don't know if you want to touch on it, but what does that have to do with 5D, the 5 density, the 5th density? Do you know if that's connected in any way?
Yes, I do. I'm the guy who coined 5D events. I'm the guy who coined 5D in the 5th dimension, because we're skipping the 4th and we're shifting from the 3rd to the 5th dimension. And how we're doing it is using stargates that are sun gates that are here, stargates. And we're using Sirius and Spica and Altair and Alnitak, and you know who's really helped me? The YouTube channel that you have to go to is Jetson White, because he explains everything so well. Jetson White, like the Jetsons cartoons, Jetson and then White. And you look at his Tesla Trump connection about time traveling, you look at his Stargate information, you look at his because he helped me figure out, because I knew that we were on a different timeline, because my dad and my ex-wife, they're not the same ones that I live my life with. Okay. And it's like, wow, you know, because my dad was captain of a soccer team and he says he wasn't, and he was also president of a ski club and he says he wasn't, but he's very similar, you know, it's just another dad from another timeline. And I remember Skechers having a T in it because I had Skechers, and I remember Kit Kat. I was a commercial artist and I had to learn how to draw a hyphen in 3D, and Kit Kat had a hyphen and they don't have them in Milk Duds and Kit Kat. Milk Duds was what I bought when I went to the Milk Duds and Junior Mints, but that was what I bought at the movie theater. And they had a hyphen, and it doesn't have a hyphen. And the Monopoly man had a monocle. He had a monocle, Mr. Moneybags, and he doesn't.
I remember that. I do. I'm trying to.
And Curious George had a tail. Curious George had a big tail, and it was like a big question mark, kind of, and a real long tail. And how does he not have a tail? And then Mickey Mouse had suspenders. Now he just has the buttons where you tie the suspenders, just buttons. Like, what are the buttons for? They're for the suspenders, but where are the suspenders? And then famous movie lines have changed, and your own Bible has changed. Your baby Bible is different. It was always a lamb and the lion and the lamb, okay, in Isaiah. Now it's the wolf and the lamb. The wolf and the lamb is what? The wolf?
I never heard of the wolf and the lamb. That's
exactly. It was always a lion and a lamb. So you're from the same timeline I'm from. So what I'm saying is,
because the one that really got me when you talked about Mandela, because I remember him being killed in prison, and then it changed.
I cried when he died. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
couldn't understand that. And I'm thinking, did I dream that?
Yeah.
I remember
and that's
that.
why you look at Google Trends and you see all the people that went online and asked that question, when did Nelson Mandela die? And how we coin it the Mandela effect, because we realize we're not in Kansas anymore, and something as weird has happened, that he is now alive and president of South Africa. How in the hell is that possible?
That was
and
quite
also Larry Hagman, JR, who killed JR, and also some
you mean JR in Dallas, in the show called Dallas?
Yeah, exactly. He was still, I remember him dying.
That show, of course.
But I remember Larry Hagman dying, I think.
Yes.
And I remember a lot of people dying, and now they're alive. Okay, so how is that possible? We're in another reality.
He's not alive now, is he?
Is Larry
Hagman alive now?
I don't know. And I really, it's bad to say I don't care, but it's just
it's
right
old.
now. It's not,
that's so old.
It's not important.
They wouldn't.
It's not important for me right now. I'm looking up many other things.
My question. I have a question for you. The question.
Yes.
Would be, so how does that? All right. I know there's one thing I remember hearing lately was that we switched timelines so we would not have to go through the harsher, harsher part of what was going to happen to us. So we're actually
in the Bible, it's not good.
Your timeline, even though it may not appear that way, but it was going to be a whole lot worse.
It was, and we switched. They said watch the twos, and so it happened February 22nd, 2020. That's all twos. 2/22/2020. February 22nd, 2020 is when it according to Jetson White and what he shows in his video, that's when we made a U-turn and got on the positive timeline. And they did that. And I think what they did was they kind of photocopied the timeline between 2004 and 2008. And then they added it on to 2008 to gain 4 extra years, because they had a 16-year plan to put us away, and they never expected Hillary to lose. And so they bought themselves.
That was the deal breaker.
It was. Yeah. And they were in shock, and see, Trump reversed everything that they did.
Yeah.
So right now they're trying
even though he never got any credit for it. And
he's going to get credit. He's going to be the greatest president. He's going to be recognized as the greatest person ever, if he's not divine. Okay. But let me tell you.
Before you go, I know people may not be Trumpers here. I don't know what they are. I know.
I didn't like him either. The way they show him on the media.
Neither did I.
We got to remember, I don't like the one that they showed. Okay. You got to remember that there's a false. I don't like me when they show me, because it's not me. Okay. Because they twist what I say, and they make me a bad person. Okay.
Of course, that's what.
So you'll never see me on Ancient Aliens or History Channel or any of these shows, because I don't read cue cards, and I speak without computer or notes or anything. It's all in my head. Okay. And I say what I want to say, and it's from my heart. Okay. And so you'll never see me on these other shows. And that's why, I lost my train of thought, because what were we talking about? The point I was trying to make?
Yeah, you were talking about Trump and how he
the Trump. Okay. You got to remember that they did it on purpose to make us hate him. Okay. They created a false Trump.
They did not,
and they did a good job, and they did a good job of doing that. But he's not like that, and we're going to learn how he really is, because I met the real Trump, and he's a real spiritual genius. Okay, because it takes one to know one, and I'm very spiritual, and I'm also a genius. My IQ's tracked off the scale. And they couldn't give me a number, but they did. They said, they told me when they gave me that number that really it wasn't my number, that really I was off the scale, but they had to put a number down. Okay. And I'd never heard a number so high, and I'm embarrassed to say anything. Okay?
Well, that's okay. But I always said when I first met you that you were a savant. That's what I got. You were savant.
Yeah. Some people think I'm idiot savant. more of an idiot, you know, and I have to be that idiot. I have to play that idiot.
You have so much going on at the same time that you want to bring it all out to everybody at the same time. So you get very passionate about what you're sharing. And I'm
trying to wrap it together and make a point here
that
he traveled back in time to find me and thank me for what I hadn't done yet. So when I saw pictures of him, that it wasn't him, and I realized that Tesla Trump was friends with Nikola Tesla, his uncle, and that they had the time travel technology. And then I realized it was him, and then because he knew he was going to become president and clean this mess up, so all this is going to unfold. So whatever people think about Trump, they have to just relax now, take a deep breath, and pause, because they're about to wake up with a red pill of when this media is going to shut itself down in a blackout, because all this information is going to come out too fast. They don't want it out. That we're going to learn through our telephones, through the emergency broadcasting system, what really happened, because a lot has been going on. And I have met the super soldiers that have been doing the child saving of the child trafficking under the deep underground military bases, not in the deep underground military, but in the tunnels, and all over the world. They've been doing this, and they brought down the banksters, and they changed. And see, Trump changed everything. So he set them up. He set the chessboard up. So he knew he had to leave and lose on purpose, because you can't arrest people unless they leave the store with the stolen goods. Okay. You have to let them leave the store with the stolen goods before you can arrest them. And they had to steal the election, and we had to catch them and prove exactly how they did it. And we got it all. And we're going to show you. We're going to show everyone, and they're going to wake up. And so people have to start getting over it.
I heard something very interesting today on an interview. You know Benjamin Fulford?
Yeah, I like him. You know, I don't agree 100% with everything he says, but I do like him. He's from Japan. I think he's in Japan.
He lives in Japan, but he's a Canadian by birth, but he's lived all over the world, like you, kind of like you.
Right.
And he was mentioning that there's going to be a whole different shift to the world, that that Trump he was becoming an isolationist, and that was what was throwing people off. So we don't know what really is the outcome yet. I'm not sure yet. None of us know yet, right? But I know that he's done good things.
That's what I don't agree with him. Okay, well, that's what I don't agree with him, because
I never heard of. I never heard about that. That was a whole new thought pattern, and that we're going to change the way the world is run. We will have our internet. We will have our individual leaders, but it'll be broken up into segments. And that certain things that affect the world population as a whole, say like food production, climate, you know, nature, whatever's animal extinction, you know, all those things that affect everybody, plants, and, you know, all that kind of thing, that the whole world will partake as segments to clear this up, and we'll work together as a planet rather than just countries. That was an interesting thought.
Yeah, it's not happening that way.
Well, I don't know.
I'm telling you, when you watch the Jetson White videos, you're going to realize that we're escaping this fake reality. We're going to real planets, real stars, real nature. We're going to somewhere real, back home to Sirius. This dead souls. I had a couple of near-death experiences, and the heaviest star in the sky is Sirius. It's a black hole. We spiral there when we die. Supposedly, we go back there. We're going there in real life. We're going to be traveling through a Stargate and escaping, I think. And so I don't want to get too crazy on you, but it's not, basically, I'm just saying it's not happening that way. And they want to centralize everything, and we're not staying here. This is not real.
New World Order type. No, that's not what he's doing. Isn't that version. But anyway, it was an interesting thought. It was sort of like that. I'm probably not explaining it well, because it was the first time I ever heard it. But
I'll go and listen to him. I'm curious what
you have to listen to Mel K. And Mel K.
I like her.
And go on to BitChute, and that's where I like her. Like today.
I think she's really gifted.
You is excellent. And if you, I mean, this is a bit down the rabbit hole, everyone, and we don't always go this level, but it's interesting because you must be ready to hear it. Otherwise it wouldn't be coming out. And Dave and Eric wouldn't be on the show. In fact, why is your name David? Why do they call you David Farnham? Saeed.
That's Saeed David Farman. Okay. That's the Persian guy I met in the 80s.
Is he the one in the 5D group? Is he the 5D event person?
Yeah, that's his. When you were reading it, you're reading his website, and I like what he wrote, and I agree with a lot of it.
Well, that's what I got. You gave me
a lot of times, he's my friend that I've known since the 80s.
I thought it was another name for you. I was getting.
Yeah, no. He's like, David Saeed Farman. I'm Eric Reza Dadmer. We're both Persians. Okay. And actually, I'm a co-producer, a silent co-producer. I let him touch the money, and he makes money on me.
Yeah, okay? I saw you do that. I saw you on the 5D event. I watched it. It was good. It was good.
Yeah. Thank you. But it's Saeed. See, Saeed takes the risk of losing or gaining money, and I keep telling him, when you make a lot, give me a big chunk. But anyway.
Of course. Well, if you're helping, you're helping. So
it's important to get the information out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I do this work. I mean, to bring it out whatever way it's meant to come. But I'm also connected to Sirius. When you talk about Sirius, I know Sirius was my planet. In fact, one of the Siriuses I come from, it blew up. I left I was just
dolphins.
Probably dolphins. I think I'm very connected to dolphins.
And hook-billed birds. Birds with hook bills,
like parrots, and or like
yes,
yeah, I love those kind of birds.
And whales and dogs.
Ocean. Anything to do with the ocean.
Dogs come from Sirius.
It's interesting what we don't know, but we're finding out. It's incredible.
Marijuana comes from Sirius because cannabis is canine. And bi is 2. Cannabis, canine, and bi 2. And 2 Dog Star is what they call Sirius.
Yeah, the dog.
And we have in the old books, Lord Shiva gave 2 gifts actually to Earth. He brought 2 gifts to Earth. He brought marijuana and he brought datura, and I think he brought the marijuana to detoxify the radiation because growing it is an excellent way to detoxify the radiation. I know they're growing a lot. I heard in Japan to help with the radiation.
Really?
And I heard that, and also it's an excellent, another good ways to detox radiation besides urine therapy is oil pulling with coconut oil. When you swish your mouth with coconut oil, it's an excellent way to detox radiation. And it also reverses cavities and gets rid of the lipid-based bacteria and the 3 miles of tunnels in each tooth. So how I made it better was I do it 1 tablespoon of coconut oil for 5 minutes after I floss 4 times in a row. So I'm pulling the nails off the magnet and getting a fresh pull. And then it makes my skin shiny, and it detoxifies me, and it reverses cavities and corrects your gum line. So it's a real excellent way to stay healthy, doing coconut oil. But don't drink that oil pulling. Spit it in a bottle, and because you are supposed to eat coconut oil also, but that's separate. Okay, because I say drink 3 tablespoons of coconut oil a day, and if you're have dementia, 4 tablespoons if you remember to take it. So
interesting. There's so many things to know. So, this would be a great little thing to put out in a little bit of a PDF for people if you want to share it, like some of your little ways.
On my Eric the Healer, I made an Eric the Healer video. I have it pinned to the top. When you go to Eric the Healer page on Facebook, you can watch that video of me. I'm like in this sword fighting shirt that I bought from a friend of mine that got up from, it's actual, same people who made those shirts hundreds of years ago. And I did a good speech on oil pulling there. So you can listen to that there. Well, that's good.
That's good for them to hear. And also I've heard about oregano. Is it oregano oil? You can also do that with
oil of oregano is what we used to use for antibiotics. And before the Rockefellers came in the 30s and changed medicine and made it all petroleum based and took all the natural herbs out, you know, and they took out the oxygen tanks too, because we were using oxygen to heal, you know, a lot, just breathing oxygen, you know, pure oxygen, you know, it's how amazing is that, you know? So
what did you say oil of oregano was for again? Say that again.
it was our antibiotic. It was what we used for antibiotics.
Yes.
All you need is one. It's so powerful. You only need it for one drop of it, you know?
Really?
And yeah, it's so powerful. You don't use more than one drop, and it is an antibiotic. And see, when you use the fake antibiotics, it destroys any chance your body has of fighting these diseases. And there's no such thing as disease. I met Dr. Robert Young last year, and he's been coming to our shows now. He'll be coming to all of our shows. And I watched his videos like 30 times, so I wouldn't be an idiot when I met him.
He's an knowledge.
Oh yeah. And he said there's no such thing as disease. It's all symptomology of being acidic. So you have to get alkaline. You know, that's the secret, is getting alkaline.
Yeah, because he talks about your interstitial fluids, doesn't he? Is that
the interstitial fluids, exactly. That's people think the skin is their largest organ.
No,
and really it's the interstitial fluids, all the fluids that go all over the body. And really that's the key, is looking at the alkalinity of those fluids, because when you take his 4 salts, you know, he's got two great websites. His first one is Dr. Robert Young, which is drrobertyoung.com. And the other one is phmiracleproducts.com. And his phmiracleproducts.com is where you can get the 4 salts. And you know, it's a no-brainer. It's when you learn that the medical industrial complex is just here to make money, and that all this pandemic was to make money and get all the funding so they can have billions of dollars to spend how they want, and make money on masks and vaccinations. And because the CDC isn't a state operation, it's a corporation, and they own the patents, you know. And there's no such thing as viruses. Viruses have never been isolated or proven to exist. What we have here is a retrovirus that's man-made, able to be patented. So you go to atcc.org and you type in the box Zika or SARS or Ebola or human coronavirus, and you learn the truth that you can buy human coronavirus for $383 for a frozen milliliter. And it's like, what? You know, so it's crazy what they had planned for us, and we got them good. Okay. Well, we got them good. I've been talking about this forever, and people are going to wake up. And I am just so happy that we're in this age here of the age of Aquarius.
Yes.
To have the Kali Yuga 1,000-year-old cycle of enlightenment. They have no place to go. Okay. They were forced here, and now there's no place to go for these reptilian, whatever they are, shape-shifting, demonic, Luciferian, blood drinking, adrenochrome making, drinking, you know, it's crazy nefarious stuff, and we're about to learn.
Nefarious type. Yes, they are
nefarious, diabolical, satanic Luciferians, whatever you want to say.
It's a religion.
It's a bad choice.
It's their religion. It's their religion, and they think they're right. And that's the sad part. They think they're right. And so, you know, they think what they're doing is wrong. They think it's right. But, you know, we obviously know that it isn't the right thing to be doing for humanity, because we're the outcome, you know, we're the slaves to it. And we're the ones, you know, that are finally waking up to see what's happening. And it's taken a lot. It's taken a lot. And I think many people still haven't gotten there. I mean, I can honestly say I started waking up probably, I mean, I woke up to ascension work and all that around 1999, but then I didn't even know that 9/11 was fake until a few years after it happened. I didn't know that. I mean, in the beginning, I believe.
That's
And I'm like, I mean, that's one that opened the door for me. And then I'm like, what? And then to really heavy fucking cosmic disclosure. And then, of course, from there on and on and on. So, you know, we have to go where we're meant to, but it was opening so many doors, and I'm very grateful. And oh, yeah, but we can learn. And, you know, so for you, okay, so what does ascension mean to you? Let's get on to the positive, because I know that the key to this whole thing is to stay in the higher frequencies, even though we do go down these rabbit holes. But it's only that sometimes we need to know certain things. I mean, I know for me as an indigo, I need to know. Crystals are people who go, oh, I don't need to know this. And it's a little harder for them because they're very sensitive. But the indigos and the other, you know, they can handle it a little better. We like to know the facts. And the crystals have a harder time. They're like, you know, this is too much for me. And we understand that because they have to take it in small bites and only as much as they can handle. That's why I want to kind of be gentle with these beings, because they get it as they can handle it, you know? So what does ascension mean to you right now? Like, what do you see it happening? How you see it happening?
Ascension is a frequency vibration. Okay. And we're going to be bombarded with it. No matter what, we're going to be hit with this purple cloud, a wave of light. And if you listen to the hypnotherapist, Allison Coe, COE, her patients all describe the same thing happening. That this, you know, and I've heard about it directly from Prince, the musician, when he's made his song Purple Rain, and what he was talking about. And because he met the Venusians, you know, that's the girl with the raspberry beret is the Venusian. I'm about to go to Shasta and meet those girls again. And you know, that I met them. Did several conferences with them, and they're the real deal. You know, they come from Venus, and I've met many aliens come up to me and thank me, and they like what I'm doing. Okay. And they talk to me and I talk to them, and I know that I'm a hybrid. Okay. And that I reincarnated here to incarnate to this planet during this time. And I know that it's going down. Okay. It's going down now. And it's going down now. This is the great awakening. Okay. And we're about to, ascension to me is vibrating at a higher frequency and joining with the Middle Earth into this new fifth dimensional reality where we have a real earth, real bioluminescent trees and spirits. There are spirits that are real in the trees. It's just the tree is in this hologram, but there's a real spirit in the tree. And we are real spirit. We are real divine beings of light. And we're going to meet our star family soon, if we haven't already. And we're going to, but you know, knowing all this stuff that's going on now is very important for that foundation, because you have to know it and let it go. You have to know that it's just the wrong choice. There's no good and bad. It just, things are. You need both. You need light. You can't have light without darkness.
Yes.
Okay. And you can't have good without bad. Okay. And even in the higher dimensions, there's some bad in the fifth and sixth dimensions. You know.
Yeah,
there's some bad. Okay. For the balance.
Yes.
But I think in the seventh dimension, it's all good. Okay. So it does, you know, there's like the, you know, in Star Wars, they have the Sith, you know, and they have these guys, they dumbed us down. We had many more DNA strands.
Oh, yes.
And they dumbed us down to just this double helix. But right now we're ascending. We have 3, 4, 5 strands, and we're going up to maybe 24 or more, 64 maybe, you know, strands of DNA. And imagine waking up the rest of our brain and connecting with the energy, life force, God, love, consciousness that knows everything, that we all are one with, that you can harness and tap this. You know, that's how I'm a medical intuitive. That's how I know things without being a doctor, you know, but I don't give medical advice. You know, I just share with what I would do for myself and what I'm getting. And I get the problem cases. and I get the problem. I love figuring out puzzles, being the Scorpio, researcher. The day of research is October 28th, the day I was born. And October 28th is also when this Q movement started. Okay.
Really?
And also 11/11 is when I was born, the time. And 11/11 is the Mayot. They made this sound that just watch Jetson White videos. It's too hard to explain. I need a whole show to explain.
That's all right. I understand.
But watching the Jetson White videos and what happened on 11/11, the Mayot experience, and looking at other things, we can in his other videos, we come to understand what's really, that's the closest thing that I figured out in all my years of research. I think this Jetson White is really George Harrison's son, and he's definitely involved and connected with the Trump and the Q movement. And the Q is the posts have proven themselves many times over. Anybody who questions it has been lazy and not done the research, because the proof is in the pudding, and they proved what they said, what was going to happen before it happened. Okay. And it's all proven, and you add it up. There's symbols and significance to everything. The wise man sees the interconnectedness of everything. He doesn't need tarot cards. He can look at the dirt or whatever and see the signs all around us. Okay. So when you have it in writing, and we're going to see the signs for sure, people are going to wake up. So this is the Great Awakening. And so what ascension means to me is what we have to do it all together. They say where we go one, we go all. We all have to vibrate a finer frequency and hold this light together. We're going to be hit by this purple cloud rolling in, and we're going to hold more light, and we're going to become superconductors. And the people who can't handle all this love and light are going to be taken off on these motherships that are waiting by the sun. And if you go to Gina Maria Colvin Hill on her YouTube,
Gina Maria Colvin Hill.
She's showing all the motherships by the sun. Yeah, those are the motherships waiting.
Yeah, I know her.
They're all there waiting to take us.
Yeah, she's funny.
To help us upgrade our DNA so we can hold more light. And then they'll return us in 3 days or so back to the planet. Okay, so we're all doing this together, and we're going to lift this illusion, the veil of illusion off, and we're going to transcend this dimension.
Oh, yeah. We're going to connect with our galactic brothers and sisters. Yeah.
And in the middle earth, the hollow earth, it's not only flat with a dome, a firmament, but it's also hollow. Yeah, so there's an inner earth, a middle earth people that are the trolls and the giants and the North Pole there's a hole, and the Sasquatch and the Bigfoot protect all the entrances and portals to the inner earth. And we're going to meet all these people, and it's going to merge with our dimension. So it's going to become one, because when we talk about UFOs and stuff, they're not out there. They're basically they're from out when, like from they're time travelers. They travel through time and space. And so it's not what we think. It's other dimensions. It's overlapping this dimension in a higher frequency vibration that we're going to merge with and become aware to. So it's hard to explain these things, and using language that doesn't transcend, and talking about things that go beyond. But the best thing I can say is the Jetson White has helped me figure out Mandela effect, timelines, Stargate, time travel, everything. The Tesla 369 and zeroing out the emotions to get to the basic, the 9 of the Rodin's coil. The 9 is where we get the energy from another dimension, and it's the key to everything and how we're traveling. I'm going to a free energy conference with a bunch of inventors, and they have this coil that they don't know where this energy comes from, but it's coming from another dimension, and it comes here. And it's through the 9, and Tesla talks about 369, and Tesla's alive in another dimension. And so we're going to meet Tesla. We're going to meet everybody. So, wow, we've really talked about a lot of crazy things.
But no, it wasn't crazy. It was obviously, it's a thread that needed to be woven.
It does. it's
And
all tied in together. It really is. All these things, just like your introduction and how it was perfect, tying everything together of how I'm me and how I do all these things that you talk about. So at having these love, I had a show called Love Vibrations, it was just perfect. And it's good to have a reminder that we need to do these things. Grounding, as I walk around with bare feet, we have to ground ourselves for all these energies that are coming in. Tomorrow is the summer solstice, and we have more energy from this is the most energy light we're getting from the sun and the moon now. And it's forcing, and the people who are like me, the souls, star seeds like you, and I think we're going to find out what powers. Maybe our palms are going to, our hands are going to turn on and light up or something.
My hands turn on while I'm doing my prayers all the time.
That's what I'm saying. We're going to be shifting. It's going to be obvious.
Yeah.
What's going on, because we're going to stand out and be different. And who knows, maybe I've been the fool and I'm not going to do anything. Who knows? But we'll find out.
Well, we're all meant to do
have
something.
More vindication.
Everyone who's here is meant to, it has a unique reason for being here, and all of us
are doing
the best we can, and we just keep doing it. And that's what
and it's all important. Everything is important to happen together, that we all do our parts together and as one, and to get where we're going, because we needed this pandemic to wake us up. This absolutely. Was all good. Absolutely. We needed this to shake us up and wake us up, because you don't mass kill, and you don't do these stupid things, to breathe in your exhalation. And the two chemicals they use to make the mask, polyethylene and polystyrene, are both lung causing cancer, proven. So there should be a Proposition 65 on every mask. And then they took these masks in and had them analyzed, and it turns out there's all these parasites on them, and it's really terrible. They're trying to do, so we have to wake up, and now's the time. And I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And I have one last question.
Yes.
What do you think benefited you during this pandemic so far? Anything specific benefit you?
Oh yeah, I weeded out a lot of friends. A lot of people I thought were aware, and people that I was not wasting my time and energy, but just you can't force people to wake up. They have to wake up themselves.
That's right.
You can't and I don't want to say I don't care if they wake up. I do care, but they have to care. Okay, I do care, but it doesn't matter what I care or not. They have to care and make an effort to look into what I'm talking about. Why do I put my life on the line with nobody protecting me? Well, nobody physical in this realm, but I have angels protecting me. But why do I put my life on the line and talk about all these crazy things about the deep state, and the mercenaries showing up at these, and how it's all related? Because you follow the money, you always get your answer. And I hit the bullseye.
You're following your heart. You're also following your heart. And that's the key.
You have to follow your heart. You have to follow your heart. And that's just it. You do the right thing. And because it's a crime to be silent, and we have to speak up, because if you don't speak up, it's going to be another Germany. Nobody spoke up. It wasn't Hitler, they say. It was all the people that didn't speak up.
That's what they're saying. We have to speak up, and that's why I do this, and that's why I feel this was important for people to hear, whether they believe it or not. They've heard it. We've planted seeds in this session, and I appreciate that so much. So any last word for people, like any final message you would like to give people for right now?
Yeah. I take an excellent product called blackoxygenorganics.com. It's blackoxygenorganics.com. And I would really appreciate it if you put a / Eric the Healer, so I get credit, because it's the same price whether you do that or not. But I get credit, and it helps me out a lot. But it's a really excellent product that I take a bath. It's like going to the spa. except 4 times more powerful, because this guy in Canada found the most powerful fulvic minerals, humic acid, around the world. He went around the world looking for all the best spas, and they were only 8 to 12%. But then when he came back, he saw his property had these similar looking places that he'd been going and finding. So then he tested his own, and his eyes popped out of his head because it was 36%. So it sold me immediately. And when I learned that, you know, all these UFC fighters, and, you know, they say that's what gave them the edge, and plus it's
So
essential minerals.
Is it
It's called shilajit. It's fulvic minerals. It's why you go to the sauna, the mineral waters, the hot springs, to get soft skin and soft hair. Well, I take a spa sauna. I take a mineral bath in my own house every day if I want, you know.
So you
and
just
it's
put it in your bath water.
Well, they sell powder and they sell tablets, which I really love, but they have orange flavor. It's essential oil of orange, and they fizzle. I love them. You put them in your mouth and they like fizzle, but you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to put them in water, a glass of water, and then it fizzles.
Of course. So
but I like
going to help people for what? To cleanse.
This is to help people have. You could live on this stuff. Is so nutritious and powerful that you could, you know, I think you could live on it. You know, you're getting a lot of essential minerals and important nutrients that, you know, from this you know, it's buried. So it's before there was industrialization, and it's like pure, and it's 4 times stronger. So I'm getting good skin, good hair. And, you know, I don't color my hair, and I don't, I'll be 59 this year, and I'm getting, and I have lots of energy. I didn't sleep much last night, and I had to wake up early, and I've been working on paperwork all day, and I still have a lot of energy. I'm about to go kick my friend's butt in backgammon. So, all
right. I know it's been wonderful, and thank you so much, Eric. And I'm going to thank the audience.
Anytime, I'm happy to come back anytime and talk more about anything. Let's see how this sits with your audience.
I'm sure. People are
if they want me back, I'm happy.
I have so many different kinds of people that are listening, and they are all ready for whatever they're meant to hear out of this conversation, you know.
Thank you.
Passion and all the things they're bringing to humanity, for owning your divine light, and for all this assistance and awakening and ascension that you're bringing to us. And I'm going to say, I'm Aila Sirona Miller, and I will see you all on the next episode. Thank you again, Eric, so much. Enjoy. I hope you win. Have a great time at backgammon. Bye-bye.